If you're in your 50s and considering long-term care insurance planning, this brief video will share some insights and suggestions that I believe you'll find very helpful. Hi, my name is Jesse Sloan, and since 1998, I've been director of the American Association for Long-Term Care Insurance. We're a national trade organization. We advocate and educate. We don't directly sell insurance. So after watching this video, please speak to the insurance professional that sent you the link, or if you're not working with a specialist and you'd like to be connected with one, call our organization. We'll be only too glad to help. So long-term care insurance is a complicated topic, and I'm going to try and make this simple for you. One of the issues that comes up all the time is, do I buy it earlier? Does it really pay? And here's the consideration that I would share with you. We do a cost analysis every year. These are current costs in 2015, and I'm going to use a 55-year-old male as an example. Female costs tend to be a little bit higher. So if you're a male age 55, a standard plan of coverage is going to be worth about $164,000 of immediate benefits. That's what typically men, and women buy. But you want coverage that's worth more than that when you're likely to need care, which is going to be in your 80s. So we're comparing coverage that is immediately worth $164,000, grows to $291,000 at age 85. By the way, that coverage, since it grows every year, in 10 years, when you're age 65, it'll have grown to $196,000 of benefits. What will you pay for that? Roughly $120 a month. Okay, and roughly means because some companies charge a little less, some companies charge more. So this is an average. So the question is do you wait for 10 years until you're age 65? Well, if you were to choose to do that, in order to have the same amount of coverage at age 85, which is, again, when you really are very likely to need long-term care, you have to now start with a policy that's worth $196,000. For that, at age 65, using current pricing, you would be paying $194 a month. That's a significant difference. But as you'll see going forward, that's today's rates. I can't predict what will happen tomorrow. And this is also the big issue. Talk about predicting what will happen tomorrow. What I tell everybody that I speak to is nobody can guarantee 24 hours from now your health can change. Long-term care insurance is not something that the insurance companies are forced to guarantee and to give to everybody. They screen individuals. That doesn't mean that they only take people in perfect health, but they know what conditions are very likely to make the need for long-term care in the future very real. And so people who have health conditions, people who are under what I call controlled, with medications, those people face a high risk of being declined. And as you can see, the difference between your mid-50s and your mid-60s is almost twice the chances of being declined. Wait until your 70s, and almost 1 out of 2 people who take the time to apply for long-term care insurance are declined. So here's some considerations for those in their 50s. First, I showed you the difference in what you would pay if you bought it at 55 or if you were waiting 10 years and buying it at 65. However, I can only show you rates that are currently available. I will tell you that every year the companies introduce new policies because that is their way of increasing the rates. The policies may have some little tweaks in their bells and whistles, but basically new policy rates are likely to increase every year if you wait. So the question that begs is, well, what about the policy that you bought today? Will that increase? And the answer is not guaranteed. Nobody can tell. But, and you probably have seen and read lots of stories about older policies that have undergone rate increases. What I advise consumers is that the past does not equal the future. policies today are mandated by the state departments of insurance that they meet certain requirements and pricing regulations. So I can't guarantee that the policy you buy today will not be impacted by a future rate increase, but I can tell you that the likelihood, and this is based on lots of actuarial studies, is very, very slim. And the big gamble, as I explained, is that 24 hours from now, you go to the doctor and you tell your doctor, oh, I'm having this issue or that issue, and the doctor writes something in their medical records, or 24 hours from now, something happens that's a change in your health, and you are now ineligible to get long-term care insurance no matter how much you'd be willing to pay for it. So a few tips for those who are in their 50s for what I call smarter planning. The first is consider a policy that allows your future benefits to increase. Not all insurance companies offer this provision, but you're starting early. It will save you money now, and it will allow you to increase the benefits in future years. It's definitely something worth looking at. The second thing is be aware that there are ways to reduce the cost. As I said, we gave you averages for premiums, but you need to understand that what Company A charges and what Company B charges is totally up to the insurance company. The prices vary significantly, and one company is never the least expensive, neither is a company always the most expensive. The prices vary. The discounts vary. The policy options and features vary. And the variations from one company to the next are greater than I think I've seen them in many, many years. And that's one reason that we recommend to individuals that it pays to work with a knowledgeable long-term care insurance specialist. If you're working with somebody else and you're comfortable with them, that's fine. But here are the three questions that will help you determine someone's level of specialization in the field. The first question is, how many years have they been selling long-term care insurance? As I say, every year the companies come out with new policies, new bells, new whistles, new options, new features, and really, I will tell you that it takes 3 to 5 years to really gain a knowledge of what's going on in the industry and in the marketplace. The second question to ask is, how many policies does the insurance agent have they sold over the past couple of years, last year, the year before? Because while an agent will look and tell you, oh, I've been selling long-term care insurance for 10, 15, 20 years. If they're only selling 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 policies a year, they're what I call an incidental producer. And their depth of knowledge, the likelihood that they will really take the time to keep up with the changes, to understand the underwriting requirements and the underwriting changes is very nominal. The critical question is the third. Appointed with is industry jargon that explains how many insurance policies the agent can actually sell you. And what I mean by that is, let me give an example. If you're buying a car and you go up and show up at the Ford dealership, you know the salesman there is going to only sell you a Ford. You're not going to drive off in a new Toyota. And with insurance, the agent can talk about any of the policies that are available, but they can only earn a commission if they are appointed with the particular insurance company. So they're going to favor, obviously, the companies that they can earn a commission on. The question that you want to ask is, how many long-term care insurance companies are you appointed with? A knowledgeable long-term care insurance specialist typically today is going to be appointed with 4, 5, or 6 of the leading traditional long-term care insurance companies, several of the hybrid, the linked benefit long-term care companies, and even 1 or 2 of the short-term care companies, because those are definitely viable options. It will serve you well to work with somebody who doesn't really have a horse in the race. They want to get you the best product for the best price. If you'd like to be connected with a long-term care insurance specialist, either to begin the process of comparing long-term care insurance or even to get a comparison quote, you have two choices. You can first visit the association website, www.aaltci.org, and click the Request a No Obligation quote. Your information will only go to one individual. You will not get calls from multiple agents all over the country. The agent will call you, educate you, run quotes and cost comparisons for leading insurance companies. Or you can call our offices at 818-597-3227, and we'll be glad to answer your questions and help in any way possible. Thanks for watching.